What is going on, YouTube? Pass the prop back here again. It is our last NFL show of the season. We're back here again, ready to talk some novelty props, some fun stuff here. Talking Super Bowl Sunday here. Joined as always by my guy Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. A little less good when you say it like that, though. I mean, last show of the season isn't a very cheery way to say it. You know what I mean?
Hey, we go on with a bang, man. We're going on with a bang.
Yeah. I'll miss it, though. I'll miss it. But hey, like you said, we're going out with a bang. We got novelty props. We got fun props. We went over all the normal stuff, spread analysis, game preview, total props, all that stuff. We already did that earlier in the week. If you are looking at seeing our best bets, our biggest bets, what we're really counting on this weekend, make sure to go check out that show. But this is about everything else. This is about all the fun stuff. Like we said, this is the most bet game of the year. It's universally accepted to bet every snap of this game. So we're going to try to help you guys get covered with that. And we got the perfect guest to do so. We got Birdman back on the show. Welcome back, man.
Yeah, how's it going? I think it would be a little less cheery if you guys didn't do baseball daily and NBA and UFC. And so, I mean, you guys do it all. So, always props to you guys for doing this on a weekly basis. I've been crazy busy football season for me. As far as, not that I did a lot of content to begin with, but there's nothing really for me outside of just betting, which is the most important part. But yeah, I'm ready for it. Excited, a little obviously nervous playing the evil empire, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so what we'll do here is we'll get you guys our recap for NBA here in a little bit, but I know we got our guest here is doing it from his car, so we got to make sure we get you guys his best bets for the show here. Obviously, Eagles fan. I'm surprised you're not decked out in full-on Eagles stuff at work today. I'm surprised they didn't just let everybody probably throw whatever they got on, huh?
Usually I do. I wear this random zip-up Eagles hoodie that my sister got me. It fits nice, and then the hood is like a quadruple XL. It's the weirdest thing, and it zippers all the way up and through, so it just looks like a hazmat suit a little bit. But yeah, normally I do, and everyone in the office building is. But yeah, kept it just normal today. I'm ready to go.
Hey, quiet confidence, right? That quiet confidence coming through. So we will get you right into you guys' plays. We got 10 of you guys in here in the first 2 minutes. We appreciate you. You guys are going to be able to lock in Bursman's bets right away. We'll just throw right over to you to start us off with your first one here. Good number here.
Okay. I thought you wanted to do NBA, but yeah. So there's a number first touchdown under 15.5 minus 110. For people out there, probably this is a really weird one. Why wouldn't you just bet first touchdown? Which I'll have some first touchdowns bets at higher odds. I just really liked the breakout when you look at who you get with 15 and less with the jerseys and higher. So of the top 15 odds options for first touchdown, you get 10 of 15 now, or technically 10 of 14. One of the 15 is Eagles defense. So of those 15, you get I'm sorry, of the other side of it, you get it's basically a fade of Saquon, Hunt, Kelsey, Goddard, and you got your randoms like Noah Gray, Calcaterra, Dotson. But for the under, you get Hurts, Mahomes, Pacheco, and then you Gainwell, and then you get every receiver. You get A.J. Brown, you get Devonta, you get Worthy, you get Hollywood, Hopkins, Juju. And then defensively, you get Slay, Nolan Smith, and CJ, GJ. So a couple extra there. So I just think with all these options, it's a little bit of a fade of the more popular guys. And I know you guys probably follow Cleve TA on Twitter. Pretty sharp dude. He put out a breakdown, and since 2000, the first touchdown breakdown has been 41.7% of the time has been wide receiver. So I do like getting doesn't really in this matchup doesn't really portray because obviously we got some heavy runners, but that's why getting both quarterbacks in there I think is pretty beneficial. If this number didn't include Hurts, then I probably wouldn't even bet it. But seeing that I think fading the top guys there is kind of the way to go. Even quarterback 12.5%, running back 25%, tight end only 8.3%, defense 12.5%. So the tight end's really at the bottom there. You don't any Calcaterra, you don't get any of those guys, which is fine. But I like this bet -110. Just get most of the guys up there and just hope it's not one of like the top 2 favorites, really.
Yeah. I mean, this is one every single year I never look at because I know somebody else is going to do the work for me. Like I never want to be the one in the trenches, looking at everyone's jersey number and all that stuff. But I do like it. You're obviously playing the numbers game. I think what you said, 10 of the top 15 odds guys, obviously, that's kind of what you want. You want to give yourself as much exposure as possible. And I just think these are fun. These are fun as hell. You know what I mean? This is a great prop to play. For me, what I was looking at in this first touchdown market, Caesars, and I guess a lot of places have position of first touchdown.
Wide receiver.
You listed the wide receiver stat, and that makes more sense to context now because I did not get why wide receiver was the favorite here. Personally, at 175 in a matchup between these two teams, like looking at it right now, you can play 180 for a running back, and then you can even double down and play 420 on a quarterback. And I would feel great about that. Like going into this game, thinking it's either going to be Saquon, one of Hunt or Pacheco. You don't even have to guess between Hunt or Pacheco. And then you can also get Hurts and Mahomes as well if you add the quarterback at 420. Like to me, like getting plus money on both of those and just avoiding the wide receiver seemed like kind of a clever way to do it. But I guess that historical stat, puts a little context to that number right there.
Yeah, I mean, you could play it a bunch of different ways. The first touchdown bets I actually made was Devonta and Hollywood, because in that stat that Cleve TA put out there was like a very small, like of the wide receivers, the wide receiver 2 is actually the highest percentage of time. Now that doesn't, it's very small difference between these guys anyway. But the Super Bowl is just one of those times, and I traditionally do this anyway. I just can't. I hate laying chalk on first touchdowns. Like if you want to play Jalen Hurts first touchdown, like we were talking about before we jumped on here, put it with like Thunder to win the West or something. The odds aren't that great on the first touchdown for him, but like, it's a solid combo, something you can just push for down the road. And there was actually a Caesars boost today with like a $10 max. I did Goddard to like 22-1 or something. But yeah, Devonta and Hollywood are the two I'm rolling with here. Like
it's pretty crazy because I thought Saquon would be like odds on crazy to be first touchdown. But I think it's like 450 and Hurts is like 600 or 650. So those are pretty tight. And obviously, if you get a ball to the 1 yard line, you know what's coming, right? They ain't going to run the ball. And it's going to be just a tush push in there. And you obviously cash that here. I guess Saquon's really the only guy, right? That's the fate of this whole thing. I mean, he's the workhorse getting everything there. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could play a full unit on this and then a sprinkle on Saquon at plus 450 because like I don't really we've seen this team run the ball in on how many of these drives. So I think that was good odds. I thought Saquon would be like 300, bro. Like I literally thought it was going to be like crazy low because we've seen him in that first touchdown market that low. I think in like 2 of the games in like the last couple of weeks. So, but give me 450, hell yeah! I think that's a good way to kind of hedge it a little bit. But 500, you're really not hedging too much, because you're still getting obviously the good odds there.
Absolutely,
I like that look as well.
All right, well we gotta get you that crazy long shot now. We said 450 for the Saquon first touchdown there. As a head, we got a guy who likes Goddard probably just as much as Stu here. I thought Stu was going to be number one fan here. I think you're pushing towards the top here with him as well.
Yeah. So one of my first bets of the week, I actually took Goddard 50 plus at like plus 109. Because like when they release an early number, I don't take like the if I expect them to have 50 plus like this in this specific scenario, it's 46.5. I'm taking the 50 plus to plus money all day. And that's not always the case, but in this scenario where it's going to rise, even if it's 50 plus now, I'm looking at a plus number on it. But for this, so I do like him to be involved a good amount. I think he's, his receptions are a good look too for people, want to do maybe like parlays or find different ways to kind of get at him now if the yards are too high. I think he's, a lot of short receptions. Spags is going to have pressure, blitzing. We know all the numbers of Hurts, and you got to try to do something that way. I think in the flats, the short yardage, I know Hurts doesn't like the middle of the field that much, but with Goddard out there against some, I don't know, average coverage linebackers, I think he's going to have some good opportunities to just catch some passes. Why I looked at this one specifically is, one, technically you only need 4 for this, so it's underneath his receptions line. Now it's obviously a lot more specific, but he's had so first quarter. Breaking this down quarter by quarter, in the first quarter, he's had 1+ reception in 10 of 13 games and 7 of 8 career playoff games, including 7 straight. Second quarter, 1 reception in 1+ in 9 of 13 games this year and 6 of 8 career playoff games, 1 of 2 versus Kansas City. Third quarter, 1+ in only 5 of 13 this year, but 3 straight. And had 2+ catches in back-to-back third quarters and hit 7 of 8 career playoff games. And the fourth quarter is kind of the one where, the I guess trends aren't as strong, 6 of 13 games and 3 of 8 career playoff games. But I think this game is going to be close throughout the whole game. So I do think it to be in reach. And, I just think he does have 4 receptions in all 8 career playoff games and 6 of 7 overall, like his last 6 of 7. So he's involved. The good thing about receptions, especially in against a blitzing and pressure defense, is you don't have to he could have 4 catches for negative 10 yards. They can be those little the tight end screens I fucking hate, when they throw a tight end screen for 3 yards and you just got like Devontae Smith and Dotson are blocking for Goddard, and you're like, dude, like, this isn't what you want to do. But it doesn't really matter as far as those yards go, although I do think, like we talked about, his yards are definitely in play. So I just like that, one, this is something fun to root for. Every Eagles drive, you're like, just catch one this quarter and then check back in the next quarter. And I just think that the odds, I don't know if they're all, I don't think they're like off or like it's like an insane EV type of thing. I just think it's just a more creative way to back a popular player. It's some more fun odds here.
Yeah, and I'll do you the honor. I won't even tell you here. I've never won one of these bets before, so
I don't think I've ever placed one of these bets.
Really? People send me a quarter or a half, like to have a catch every quarter, have like 25 every half. People send me those like once a week. They look amazing, and it's always the real chalky ones. I remember like Joe Mixon to have 10 rush yards in every quarter. It was like a huge one people were sending me. I swear to God, they never win. Like this is a little different than yours, but like those like minus 110 every quarter, like those never. So like I'm so anti those markets and stuff, but I do love like the first quarter market. I like what you were saying, breaking it down by his history, especially in the playoffs. I think his like first quarter yards would be really nice as well, just because he's always involved in these scripted plays, right? Like you were mentioning, like when they have the first 15, 20 or so plays of the game or your coaches like scripted plays, there's almost always a tight end screen in there. Like every single time they get Goddard the ball. I think it's their version of getting your quarterback comfortable. They want completion, get him. My thing is like you got Saquon Barkley there. I'm not sure why that wouldn't be plan A before Goddard, but it hasn't been. It hasn't been all year long. So for me, definitely like the spot right there. I'm on some Goddard stuff as well. I can transition into it. I played him to have the most yards after catch on a single reception in this game. It's any book that has next gen stats. So FanDuel and Caesars both have them. That's what it's tracked by. Caesars actually has the best price at plus 700. Right now. And so what it measures is it's just your most yards after like one catch, right? It's most yards after your single reception there. The odds leader is Worthy. I get why. He's a big screen guy. He makes stuff happen. I might even double dip on Worthy. I don't hate the look either. You know what I mean? At 340 and 700, I think there's actually room to play both of those guys. But to me, I just think the Goddard price is a little disrespectful when you look at kind of the route tree he's been running in the playoffs. It's exactly what we were saying a second ago. It's Hurts, get the ball out quickly. Let's try to get a blocker in space, and let's let Goddard truck a guy or two. And when you look at how these defenses play, both sides are really built on eliminating explosive plays. They want to keep everything in front of you. They want to keep it short yardage, and they want to dare you to make those screen passes. So out of everyone in this game, who do I trust to break a 20-yard screen pass? Who do I trust to knock a couple people down along the way? It's not 70-year-old Travis Kelce anymore. It's probably not 160-pound Xavier Worthy. I love the guy. I think it's Dallas Goedert. So getting 700 in this market, it's kind of like you were saying. It's not like a broken number. It's not like we're getting a mistake here. It's just like I think it's a good way to attack Dallas Goedert. And I think a lot of people recognize he's a good prop this week. That's why we've seen it steamed up so much. I think 700 is kind of a good way to play it right here, especially considering I think it probably only takes like 20, 25 yards to actually win this market. Because if A.J. Brown does have a huge catch, it's probably through the air. Most of that is probably through the air, especially Holmes hits one of these guys deep as well. So I think there's a lot of ways to win this one.
Yeah, I definitely like that one. Especially because it's on any one catch and not like total. Because then you worry about the Hollywood or Worthy just getting like 17 like short yardage that this account for like 60 yards after a catch. So yeah, I'll probably end up playing that with you just because like I'm not afraid to just keep racking up the bet numbers. So
yeah, with these odds too, it's not too bad. Plus 700 is pretty wild. I'm seeing that I just found that on DraftKings. So if you guys want to go pop over there and check that out, it's over there on DK under, I think, Next Gen Stats. I believe that's where the props are for this one. Yeah, I'll get to mine. I'll get to my first one. I'm going to roll with the Chiefs' most first downs in the game here at minus 115. That's going to be on DraftKings as well. Just looking through a lot of these close games, right? The close games are the ones I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the one where the Chiefs have the ball for 20 minutes and they're just beating the hell out of teams, which I guess really doesn't happen that much, but I don't use those as much. Looking at the first 7 weeks of the season, they had a bunch of close games. We saw the one touchdown pretty much in every single game. And I think the only one they didn't have more first downs than the opponent was the Ravens. Actually beating them in week 1. They won 6 straight games with more first downs. The one I looked at in the playoffs was that Bills game. They had more first downs in that one. The one that they didn't was, I believe, the Houston game, and they got, again, outpossessed in that game because, they were winning and their defense was slowing these guys down. Obviously, when they have the ball for 10 more minutes, they're probably going to get more first downs, but I see this game competitive. Obviously, the spread looks competitive there too. And we talked about the defense on the other side, trying to keep it all underneath and make everything happen there. So I don't see many chunk plays. I like Stu's bets with Worthy on making things happen, but I don't see him breaking, a 50-yarder, right? It's going to be those underneath tackles, 4 or 5 yards. And that's the thing is you have, Jalen Hurts on one side, but you got the bowling ball Kareem Hunt running 3-yard runs, bro. Like that's pretty much the same thing. The dude runs 1 or 2 yard runs every single time, just running back into the back of his center, doing the exact same thing, except, it doesn't look as weird as the tush push, right? The same thing's coming. They're just going to run him right into the back of Humphrey and get out of there. So really like this Chiefs first down line. Obviously you can play it with the tie as well. And it's like minus 160, I think, but I'm just going to go straight 3-way on this one at minus 115 and roll with that.
Yeah, I like the spot as well. I mean, you can even like the Eagles in like this spot too. I mean, it doesn't normally work that way, but with the way the Eagles defense makes you grind and how like if it goes their way, I mean, we saw it. I keep saying it in those first couple Washington drives where it was just like short pass after short, constant third downs, like making them work. Like obviously we trust Mahomes to do it, but you're just going to create more first down opportunities with those kind of long, slow drives. While Saquon, sure, he may start slow, maybe a little boom or bust, but when he breaks off that 40-yarder, that's going to save you a little bit right there as well. And it's funny to say, but it's crazy to say, but I even trust the Eagles a little bit more in the explosive play department in this game just because of what they can do in the running game. So it's crazy to say, but I do like this one as well.
Yeah, plus all those 50-50 balls to AJ down the field, give them a chance, right? You got to get those guys respected a little bit more so they're not blitzing as much. But definitely getting AJ Brown the chance. And obviously in that Washington game, he looked so much better, pushing that ball 20, 30 yards down the field. I don't see the Chiefs doing that too much unless Travis Kelce gets those. I don't know how he gets open. He's like the Jason Witten right now, bro. I don't know how. He ain't fast. He just finds a way to just get the ball, but he falls over and goes down. So we want those big plays, Eagles. We want those big ones.
Yeah, I feel bad if you're betting fastest ball carrier Travis Kelce. Maybe you're new to $4. You're just like, oh wow, like 30-1. That's a great price. Kelce's great, right? And then unfortunately, not so fast anymore. But those are fun markets. Who doesn't like those?
How do you think that even hits? Like, is there a way that like that even hit? Like, the thing that initially popped right in my head is like onside kick. He's on the hands team and gets it, just takes it for 50 yards, and it's like, and he's just busting his ass and like, you know, the fastest he's ever ran in his life. It's the only way that I would even possibly fathom that even has a chance. But
that, or they put like a picture of Swift up on the screen and maybe he's running faster that way towards her. I don't know, bro. You know, something like that, something crazy. And that's why those odds got to be nuts, bro. They got to be crazy. So we got Zach in the chat. He must know Birdman sniping some of these odds. Where are you finding that, bro?
No, so that one was on an offshore, and that one's not available at all. It got voided and taken off completely. I don't even think that they reopened it like a better odds. I just like bet it, and I was really puzzling. Like, this is awful. And then next thing you know, like I logged in an hour later, and they were like, "Yeah, this is voided." That mistake line. I'm like, "Yeah, I thought so." So yeah. So Zach, sorry, buddy. I didn't. It's not even like I can play it. They said no. You can have your money back. So all right. But it wasn't on any rec books. But there is a lot of Cooper Flag stuff because they have a big game against Clemson Saturday. So if you do like Cooper Flag, I don't necessarily have an opinion on him versus Clemson. I just looked at it. I was like, biggest lead of the game's like 13 or 14. I don't get the full PRA. That's a little messed up.
Yeah, maybe that should have been points right there or something instead. Maybe with like a spread attached or something. Who knows? But oops.
Yeah, it's a tough game. Clemson will be tough, but I mean, to have that as your odds, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. To think that there's even a chance of a team being up by that much, which is crazy. Let's get to one other one, Stu, before we get into some other guys here in the chat. Obviously, popping into another almost like a straight bet here for you.
Yeah, I just can't find Goddard longest yak. It should be literally like everywhere. It should be FanDuel. DraftKings for sure. I have it on Caesars and FanDuel right in front of me right now. It should be under Next Gen Stats. That's the tab it would be under. So
you got to scroll down. I think he's a little bit further down the.
Down they make it a pain in the ass for you. Right here, this one's pretty simple. No punt to result in a touchback. I also bet the under punts in this game. The prices got kind of steamed up depending on where you look at it. I get it's the Super Bowl. They're going to start. Maybe they're nervous, although to be honest, I don't think either of these two teams are nervous. That's normally what we hear, the narrative. Oh, it's going to start slow. They're not used to the bright lights. Both of these two teams, I would say, are more used to the bright lights than anyone else in football. So I think you kind of take away some of that standard, like narrative-y stuff that makes people like the punts early in the game. And later in the game, I'm really not seeing either of these two teams punt that much. I've talked about it all week. No matter what team you think wins, I don't see how this game isn't extremely close. I don't see how this game is down to the wire. And one team has the most efficient fourth down play of all time, and they're great at getting in positions to execute it, right? I mean, they understand how to manage these downs in a way to get themselves in third and fourth and short. Yeah, I trust them in those situations. I don't think they're going to be – I didn't even know who the fuck their punter was. I'd ask my Discord, like, who the fuck even is this guy? Like, is he any good? Apparently, they say he's pretty good. Philly fans, they like to hype up their own, though, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, you got to ask the right people.
How good he is actually, But at the end of the day, like, I'm just not seeing enough punting opportunity. And then when there is – it's cliche. This is the biggest game of the year. Don't fucking kick it out the back of the end zone. How about that? Let's be safe. Let's get at the 10-yard line. Let's not try to do too much. You got world-class players on both sides. Like, I think it's going to be a safer special teams approach here. And at even money, I told you this to you guys earlier, I want to be sweating every fucking play of this game, including the punts. So no touchback on the punts is how we're going to be doing it. -110. It's like -150 on some of my offshores as well. I had to go legal to play this one right here. So I like it at this kind of, -110 price.
Yeah, you know the punter there, Birdman? Is he any good or what?
Yeah, Brendan Braden, man. Yeah, he is pretty good, actually. And I was listening to somebody, I think it was like Kerner from Action or somebody was talking about one of his props where he has like the lowest out of the only, I guess this is kind of a negative to this prop, but he has like, I think it's him as the lowest out of bounds percentage of any punter. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go into the back of the end zone. He's just not confident in cornering it. And the Eagles do a very good job of keeping the ball out of the end zone. Like if it drops on like the 10 and you get that extra bounce or whatever, the play like our team special teams wise have been pretty good at stopping it from getting there. So I do like it. The punting is one of the weirder markets where I don't. I've been looking at the over under. I'm like, I like the under, but at the same time, like these defenses can be pretty good, and like if we get punt to start, then it's like okay, just need like 5 punts the rest of the game. I like this. I do like this prop though. And I said I have a couple sprinkles on the other stuff, but the punting is the one shit I don't really have as much of a feel on as opposed to the rest of the game.
That didn't make the top 100, huh? That didn't make the top 100 bets.
No, no, not yet. Yeah, we still got some other stuff now. I didn't even look at the next gen stuff, so Stu just opened up a world of whatever the rest of my evening is going to be.
Road to 150, baby. Road to 150.
The only other one I'll say before I head out of here is I do like Devonta Smith early in the game. It's just like when you look at some of the game logs, like specifically against the Chiefs, one, he's just dominated them. He has 99, I think 120 and 100 in his 3 games against the Chiefs, and all of it came in like the first quarter, where it's like 40 in 2 of the games and like 28. So 10 plus is like plus 120. You don't need much for 10 yards in a quarter. Race to 20, he's like 6-1, which I do like. And I know we were talking about it earlier. I did catch like 25 in each half for him specifically. And I Stu was saying he doesn't really ever hit those bets, which I usually don't either. But the time I did hit it was a couple weeks ago in the AJ Brown, when everyone was talking shit because against he was hurt. And then I was like, Commanders defense kind of sucks. So I did play it for that, like a pretty good price, and it hit. And I just think Devonta's the one that's kind of slept on in out of the 3. It's in this matchup where he's just shown up. Whether you want to say, he has an under 20% target share when all 3 play, like that's true. But against this Chiefs team, they prioritize the other guys, and what do you know? Devonta Smith is a Heisman winner. That is probably the most, I don't want to say the most disrespected Heisman winner, but a Heisman winner wide receiver that is a stud, just in an offense that doesn't throw the ball that much. But so I like him early on in the game, 10 plus, race to 20, the 25 each half is all right too. But yeah, I think if he gets involved early, and if the Eagles do get a lead, the second half you don't have to worry about it. They're going to run the ball. So I think it's an earlier thing because the Eagles do have this weird tendency to just be like, yeah, we're going to come out sometimes and throw the ball. It's been a little less this year with Saquon, but just traditionally they were like, oh, they expect to run. Let's throw it like 4 times. And you're like, why? But yeah, so that's just another thing for early on in the game. A nice sweat before the end of the quarter.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you. I kind of think I was looking at Hurts like 40 first quarter passing. The only concern is both teams are so slow that you might only get one crack at it, which is a little unfortunate. But I'm with you. I think the Eagles love to like sneakily pass early. And I think last week was the first week that they actually let Hurts do anything in like 8 weeks since their bye week as well. So I think that's going to continue a little bit this week. Like I think Hurts probably looks a little bit better as a passer than people might think. My problem is just picking between the guys is really hard. I like Goddard. We all know I like Goddard already. So it's like, I think I'd almost rather just go like the 40 passing just because if you've been Ben Smith this year, it's been rough. You know what I mean?
Even Hurts first quarter rushing 10 yards is like I got it at plus 164, which obviously picking quarters with him, but like he broke that run in the first quarter versus the Rams, right? Like 60-yard touchdown. If he is going to be throwing more, potentially more downs of pressure, scramble early, not wanting to make a mistake. I mean, 10 yards is nothing. And if for some reason they get like 3 tush pushes on 3rd and 2, there's 6 or 7 yards there on a couple and on one drive. So plus 164 is kind of appealing. So I don't have a lot of like rushing stuff for Hurts, but I just love attacking these like low lines, not asking for much. We got 1 quarter to start the game, potentially slow or like at least more conservative in some aspects. So yeah, those are some of the ones because I mean, there's nothing better for a Super Bowl than going like, all right, coin toss. what happens? All right, let's say you win. You're like, all right, let's go. This is gonna be good. And then it's like opening kickoff to be a touchback. Like no. And then it's like that you hit that. Then it's like okay, we're building. And then the first quarter comes, and if you have like 10 first quarter bets in various markets, it's just more fun to be like, all right, I got to wait to the end of the game to see if somebody catches 4 passes. So that's part of it too. But yeah, I do think the Eagles have. I know the first quarter isn't like a very strong quarter for them traditionally, but in this game specifically, there's going to be emphasis on building a lead against this team specifically. So I think, I think those are some good looks. But yeah, I do want to thank you guys for having me on a. We'll get another one going where I have some more time and can really dive in there. But I'll definitely be throwing some props your guys' way via the DMs. We'll see what we can build. Maybe because of the lack of time, we'll put a little DGen like 3-legger together.
Little 3 parlay in there.
Oh yeah,
and then we'll toss it out there on Twitter.
No, definitely. And if you guys aren't already, make sure you're following at halfbird.halfman over on Twitter. Post a ton of bets, a lot of good stuff, a lot of fun stuff, especially this time of year. I know we've cashed a lot of fun stuff over the years this time of year. I'll always remember being on Spaces talking like Cooper Kupp to thank God first. Instead of
that market, I think God has been like steamed pretty heavily.
I know.
I think your only chance for like teammates or something is if Hurts wins it. Outside of that, I think a lot of the other guys are like pro God. But if you do like Hurts, I think he's more of a teammates guy. But I don't have any bets in that market. But
that's the hard hitting analysis we need right here. That's what we were really.
You're not seeing that everywhere else. You're not seeing that everywhere else there for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking at all those markets. I do have the under the national anthem. I was doing some research on that. I caught like an earlier like under 123, like heavily juiced, but yeah, because you gotta look. So just one tidbit is, if you are betting the national anthem, you gotta look at what it says on the sports book, like the terms and conditions and the rules and everything. Because some of the offshores local, they have when the the first letter or word is said, to brave, and they have in parentheses like no double brave, no like music before or after, like those types of things matter, especially on this one because this guy plays the piano. Yeah, and I was watching his NBA All-Star one, and I was counting. I'm like, I went like kind of under, and I was looking. And apparently, he plays a shit ton of piano like before and after and stuff. So if your sportsbook says like from the start to finish and doesn't specify, I would say actually go over. But if it says just spoken word only, I think it's going to fall under 120 if if there's a line. So it is, the specifics matter in that. Because I did notice that this dude will just jam on the piano for no reason for like a minute. So I'll leave you guys with that. But good talking to you guys, and I'll hit you guys up tonight or tomorrow.
Sounds good. That's amazing. I had no clue anyone was taping the national anthem, but he was getting his tape study in right there. Shout out to Birdman. That's awesome.
Yep. All right, guys. See ya.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Nice. I would never. We wouldn't have got there.
That's amazing.
So if it doesn't say anything, what do you think it means? Does that mean like that it goes from the start to the finish?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe if there's the little jam at the end or something.
That's
I don't know.
Keep it going, bro. My stopwatch gonna keep going.
I'll say the word on the street I was hearing was that this one might be a little bit more jazzy, a little bit more instrumental, and that might cause it to run a little bit longer. Maybe the markets bake that in. If anyone has any inside info on this, whether someone open, let us know, please. Not anything related, we will pay you. I will pay you at least. So let's get to work. But that's besides the point. Shout out to Birdman for the national anthem. I love those kind of bets. Like it just makes this game so fun, to do stuff like that. But I've actually seen really minimal anthem options this year, so hopefully we get some more.
Yeah, my dog just popped in, knowing it's time to get to our recap here for NBA. Jordan Poole plays when they're up 40, baby. Plays when they're up 40, and he stays in the game. Shout out Jordan Poole. Shout out Scotty Barnes for playing like absolute dog shit, but it's still only missing by 1 assist. He missed his PRA number by almost like 20, and he was 1 assist away from a double-double. So definitely the right one. I just haven't seen him play that bad in a long time. So
Yeah, and then I had Patrick Williams over 14.5 points and rebounds. Unfortunately, fell a little bit short right there. He missed a couple shots at the end that were pretty brutal. That made us just miss this one. But yeah, no Patrick Williams, did not get the job done on the back-to-back.
Yeah, we did get let me pull up the numbers here. Just gotta make sure. Because I did get my long shot. We did cash another one. I think we've hit a long shot in every single show so far. Shout out Isaiah Collier, baby. I thought he was going to have a chance at a triple-double there for a little while. He had like 6 boards. Shout out Isaiah Collier cashing that plus 400 late in that game. Bro's playing heavy minutes without Sexton there, and we'd love to see him popping back in, getting those numbers, and actually getting us a nice little winner here and pushing us almost to 8 units already so far this year. So I know it's a little sad NFL's coming to a close, but man, we're kind of cooking right now, and obviously MLB ain't that far behind either. So just had to make sure we get that in, as always, in that one. So I think I have a couple more from you. I saw it was you popped it over on Twitter on those. Because I guess what I'm most disappointed about is that there's no UFC ones out, because that's the one I think we would go back and forth with a little bit more. Yeah, we both have one left, it looks like, to actually talk about here on the show until they come out with those. So this would be the show, and I'm going to put this out right now. This would be the show to make sure you guys have the notification bell on, because we're going to probably comment some shit, bro. Like, I have a feeling we're going to be going back and forth in the comment section of this video once they open those up, because I think it was 2 years ago, our first year, they didn't have them out, and then they opened them while we were live on show. Like, they were just starting to come out. So I would not be surprised to see them out tonight. It's just when we put these out a little bit early, it's tough. Like, we're not going to be able to probably do it on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know who's doing shows on Super Bowl Sunday, but they must not be going anywhere and enjoying it too much, because they're supposed to be just sitting there and watching it. So I'll probably be out and about as well during Super Bowl. So makes it a little bit tougher. But again, that's just another reason for you guys to have the notification bell on so you know when it goes live there. I'll kick it over to you. Actually, I think you got 2 left. I think you have 2 left here. So I will kick it over to you for your next one, and then I have 1 left.
Yeah, I really like this one. What book did I find this on? 365, bet 365. Both teams to record a 4th down conversion, minus 130. So the Eagles by themselves are minus 425 for this, or 535. Yeah, like if you do solo, the Chiefs are about minus 190, and the Eagles are about minus 450 individually. I think the Eagles are as close to free as you can get for this right here. When you look at historically, they are the most efficient 4th down team of all time, right? They have unlocked the path here. So for me, the odds make sense for that. What you're really betting on here is the Chiefs. You're betting on the Chiefs side of it to record a 4th down conversion. And in the biggest game of the year, and a game that they're not going to be playing for punts, they're not going to be playing for field goals in. I don't know how you couldn't back Patrick Mahomes in a situation like this. Like, at a reasonable 4th down price right here, with the way the Eagles play defense, they make you grind. They make you play slowly, right? They make you run a little bit. They make you take the 4-yard check downs. Like, this is a team that makes you get into a lot of 3rd and 4th down situations. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to take advantage. So yeah, getting this at a reasonable price. I mean, honestly, I didn't even see the combo at first. I just saw them individually, and I was going to play the Chiefs at like minus 190 because I still think they're going to convert on a 4th down. But obviously, you get the parlayed version. You get the Eagles, who I think they're not a lock because maybe they get every 3rd and 1. But I mean, come on, if it goes to 4th down, like, these guys have the best play possible for it, and you're likely not going to stop them. And like we talked about earlier, they get into these situations on purpose. They're very smart about it. And I expect them to take advantage. So, yeah, I love this prop right here. I think both teams, get a 4th down conversion in the biggest game of the year. I think this is very reasonable.
Yeah, no, I it's kind of crazy that the odds are minus 400. I mean, I thought it'd be pretty good, but I was not expecting minus 400 on those odds. But to get them together at a reasonable price is definitely good looks. Terrence popping in here. Over 2.5 4th down conversions at plus 120. I feel like that, with just kind of the way you're talking about it, it kind of feels like that's got to be a bet, right?
Yes, I would bet that. I didn't actually see that yet, just because these are so impossible to find, man. You gotta scroll. I've been doing this for 3 hours before the show. Have you been in my Discord? I've been sending random things. Like, it's so hard to find all these ones. But yes, I do like this. This is a good spot right here because I think the Eagles probably have 2 themselves. So with tush pushes alone, like I watch these guys all the time. I want to pull my hair out. Like, yeah, it would make it a little better if I'm winning a bet, because of it instead. So definitely like this.
Yeah, definitely a look there. I will not be betting on any like field goal guys. I don't want to bet on field goals here. I don't mind it, but like you're gonna have to score touchdowns here, and I feel like both teams are gonna know that, especially if we're going with all these 4th downs. Like, and the Chiefs don't really get behind the sticks too much. Eagles have been doing a lot better at that. Like if it's 4th and 4, right? You're assuming they're going for it still, right? You gotta kind of assume that. Obviously, I'm not saying Kellen Moore is a super aggressive guy, but it's a Super Bowl, bro. Like, I feel like you kind of got to think that they're going to be, going for most of these. What are your thoughts here? I feel like if I'm going to be betting these 4th down ones, I don't know if I want to bet on a field goal kicker.
Yeah, no, I don't. I bet a little Jake Elliott at 6.5 kicking points. I know that's a little different, but kind of correlates. Just because they're not the most aggressive team, like on the non-short situations. I don't know. 4th and 4 is murky. I think in like late game they do. But yeah, I just don't like kickers at all this time of year. I just think we've gone from some hyper aggressive coaches to like Reed and Sirianni, who are aggressive in some ways, but they're not crazy people like Dan Campbell. Both of these guys are perfectly fine kicking field goals. So it's tricky. The only exposure, yeah, I don't know. I would not play this. No, to short answer, just because I think you need points more. But I think I played like longest field goal under 48.5, thanks to like Connor and the 4-for-4 boys. I'm pretty sure that's what they played, and I tailed them. So, I'm pretty anti field goal this time of year in general, and Elliott was 6.5. I thought that was good value. It's 7.5 anywhere. So you can't even, the one good kicker prop I think actually got bet up, unfortunately. So, I'm probably staying away from, I'm going to the punters instead,
Yeah, it might be enough. That might be,
real
enough
man's
for
game.
kickers. Yeah, it might be enough for the kickers for me. Is those guys there, rolling those. Let's get to my last one. I'm kind of upset, like I said, about the no UFC out for those. That really kills me. But I do have a cross one that I do like. I've been playing a lot more. I've been doing a lot of DFS hockey just because with my job, right? I have it's really hard to play NBA DFS when I'm literally working through lock. That's tough. Like, I can't go on my phone.
Impossible. It's impossible.
It's impossible to be profitable.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. You can definitely do it, but you're not going to make any fucking money. That's what we're going to say. So hockey is nice because these dudes are fucking dogs, bro. If they tell you they're playing, they're fucking playing. Like that's the thing about these guys. And that's the same why MLB is great. Because if you're making a bet on those and they scratch them, hey, my bet voids, right? They just void those starting pitcher bets, right? So that's what's nice. NBA shit show, bro. It's a shit show, especially around this time. So I've been playing a lot. Actually had a couple GPP wins, which is awesome. Just a lot more database for me during those. But I'm going to be playing this one. It's a cross sport here. The Lightning Canadians play. They play on Sunday. I'm going to take them to have more goals in that game than Kelsey catches. It is plus money for that one. Looking at their schedule, I'm seeing they both have a game the night before. I think it's really important to talk about that. You're going at Detroit, right? They're playing at Detroit, and that's an ESPN game, right? That's a big ESPN game on Saturday. So I'm assuming they're going to start Vasilevsky on the Lightning, which is obviously their best goalie. He's very, very good. And I think they're going to obviously start him against Detroit. Canadians get I don't even remember the dude's name, but he's ass. That's all I know. Johansson, I think. Terrible, bro. He's absolutely terrible. They played earlier this year, and when he started, he gave up 5 goals to this Canadians team. And the time that Vasilevsky started, he only gave up 2, and they won, right? So that's how big a difference the number 1 to number 2 goalie is in this spot. Same thing for the Canadians. They're playing another game the day before as well. I believe they're playing the Devils, and the Devils are very, very good. So assuming we're getting Montembeault there, and then we get a backup against the Lightning, who are top 3 in scoring, and they'll be rolling some absolute fucking dogs out there. If you don't watch hockey, they got Kucherov, who's obviously towards the top in points every year. Braden Point, obviously very, very good. Sorelli should be playing there. I know he sat out last game. He should be playing in that one. I won't go too deep in the details here, but I'm assuming a 6.5 line on this. I think we get 7 or 8 goals in this game. I'd be surprised if we see anything closer to if it's a 6, like a flat 6, it's probably like minus 160, minus 170. This is going to be a fun game, especially off a back-to-back, and especially for Montreal here, because you get a fun spot here with Tampa traveling all the way up there, but. Dude, that Tampa offense is fucking legit. So I'm playing this on DraftKings right now. It's under the cross-sport options, and it has like NHL and NFL. I believe it's the top one at plus 130. There is a tie option, which sucks. I think it's gonna be a fun one. And I've been enjoying watching hockey too. And I will put this out there. I've been liking watching hockey too right now because ESPN Plus has like every fucking game, bro. I can't get my college basketball. That's why I like some of these college basketball ones. I can watch pretty much any out-of-market game or low-market game on ESPN Plus, and it's like all night through it. Bro, I need like 9 different subscriptions to get all my other sports for like NBA, right? I need like League Pass and all this shit. I ain't paying for that. So ESPN Plus got me my UFC. They give me this. Like, shout out ESPN Plus. I think your ESPN bet shit is crap, but everything else is pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have ESPN Plus, but I believe, yeah.
It actually is worth it. I don't say that very often about many things, but it actually is worth it.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like, and I use the ESPN app all the time as well. So I'll be telling you here, no reason not to. I mean, I don't know shit about hockey. Anyone that knows me knows, like, truly, I don't know anything about hockey.
I didn't until about 2 years ago, actually. I didn't know anything about it.
I never will, though. I don't have any interest in swimming in those waters. But shout out to the people that do. It's definitely a grind. And yeah, I don't mind some plus money cross sport action as well. This whole time I've literally just been scrolling, trying to find more like cross sport props just in general to bet on. And they're finally a couple up on Caesars. There's still no UFC, unfortunately. But there are some for like the basketball games this weekend and stuff. I see like a Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Right. Yeah. Points against. So, at least we're finally getting some stuff, but yeah, we definitely need some more. And I think if we do find something good and we DM each other, like you said, we might post in the comments, make sure, you leave your own stuff in the comments as well. But we might even just quote tweet and like do a little collab or something if we can find something good.
Yeah. And that's a heads up too, is I think DraftKings has Vasilevsky saves, more saves than Hurts pass attempts. I don't even think he's starting that game. So just heads up, like, don't bet that shit, bro. I can't imagine he is going to start back-to-back games, especially back-to-back road games. Like, that would be absurd. That would be so dumb. But I saw that on there. I'm like, why would he be on there? I don't get that. I don't mind the other one there. I think it's like Ovechkin for your Washington guys. Yeah. To have more shots on goals and field goals made, because I don't like field goals. So they're plus 120 to give me that. Fuck yeah. I'll take that. I think that'll be one. But give me my UFC, bro. That's what I want. That's what I want.
What's an Ovechkin shots line normally at? Like
2.5, 3.5.
All right, I'll bet that.
3.5 plus money.
I have it. I'll just bet that too, because fuck it. Why not? I already said I don't like the field goals, and I got to have some DC pride, Shout out Ovechkin. That's like the one hockey player I actually do know. So,
Yeah, the guy who's going to be leading all time in goals.
See, and this is pretty good too. They got Juju Watkins made threes versus Juju Smith-Schuster receptions.
I like that one.
Funny, dude. And honestly, I'm on Juju fairly heavily in this game, but I might even like Watkins there just because she crushes. So I don't know how many threes she normally shoots, but I mean, this month she's okay, not great. She's like about 2.3 threes on like 5 or 6.
Yeah, the tough part is she can just get to the rim whenever she wants. Yeah. That's a shitty part. Like, if I'm her coach, I'm telling her not to fucking shoot either, bro. Just go get a
She's playing OSU, which I assume is good. So I like they're
Ohio
20 and
State.
2.
I have no
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
for girl
They're,
basketball.
they're both 20 and 2. So maybe they think that's gonna. I don't know. Whatever. I should stop trying to bet women's versus freaking Super Bowl props live right now. I don't fucking know. But I'm
Well, I need the UFC one, so just be ready for that. Did you want to drop another one, Stu? Or
yeah, sure. Whatever else I got up there, we can go over.
All right, we'll drop one more. We'll drop one more. I believe it's
Ooh,
Saquon.
the
Longest
boys
rush.
will like this one too. I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Longest
Or no,
rush of the game.
I got two. Yeah. Two Saquon. Yeah.
It was like minus 150, right? Minus 155.
Okay, I've got two juiced ones. I think I only sent you one of them. I'll say the other one here on air. I got Saquon longest rush in the game, minus 150. And then I also got what's the other one? Oh, I have Eagles first half rushing touchdown at minus 150. The Eagles in this game are minus like, I don't know, 600 to get a rushing touchdown, right? Hurts, Saquon, it makes a ton of sense. In the first half, I think minus 155 is such a reasonable price. No matter what side you're on, logically speaking, first half is the half where you commit to your game plan, and the second half is where you have to make those adjustments. I think, okay, maybe they're trailing, maybe the Chiefs crush them, maybe that's when they switch to the pass heavy. I don't think they're abandoning the run ever in the first half. And I think when they get to the red zone, it's going to be a tush push or it's going to be Saquon Barkley. So I love first half rushing touchdown at minus 150. I think that's a very reasonable price. And then longest rush in the game. So this is on Bet365 at minus 150. It's minus 190 on FanDuel. I don't know beyond that. I don't know who else has it. Those are the only two books. But I think like anything 160 or better is fantastic. I think it probably should be minus 220. Look at who's number 2 on the list. It's quarterbacks. It's not even a running back. The number 2 and 3 guys on the list are the quarterback and the opposing quarterback. Come on. The guy's going to touch the ball 25 times a game. What do you mean this shouldn't be? Yeah, of course. Minus 155 is a great price. People hate juice. They hate like, that kind of thing. But it really doesn't matter at all. It really, like, it's about implied probability. And to me, when you look at it, oh my God, I love his chances to be the leading rusher in this game. Based on pure volume at a minimum. The guys behind him are combined for 14 rush attempts. And he's going to run the ball 25 times on a good day, 20 on a bad day. So Saquon longest rush in the game, minus 150, minus 155 over on 365. Line shop it, but I think this should be minus 190. I think that's like the correct range. So if you can get it like minus 160, minus 170, something like that, I would still definitely play it. Because I think even though these are ugly, I think these are kind of the best ways to attack the Eagles rushing attack. So gave you some sexy plus money early, tried to win you over. But this is the good shit. I love betting juice stuff in the Super Bowl as well. People underrate it all the time. They avoid it. That's normally where any of the gold is left at this point.
Yeah, once you see the minus 150, like obviously we don't bet juice on a lot of stuff, but this is, odds and that you don't really get in normal games. We don't really get these very often throughout. So yeah, let's I guess we could run through a quick recap, I guess, just get these out there. No punt to result in the touchback for you. Both teams to record a 4th down conversion.
Love that one.
I have the Chiefs most first downs. And I'm taking the Lightning Canadians more goals than Kelsey catches at plus 130. And then I believe we have Birdman's jersey number under 15.5, minus 110. And Goddard catching each quarter. I thought that the one he said with Smith yards in each half, I'd much rather do a half than a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the odds are going to be a little worse, but would so much rather do that than try to mess around with doing it each quarter, bro. Just because sometimes these guys going to have the ball the whole fucking quarter.
Yep. It's what makes it so hard. You guys know I love first quarter props. I still have Worthy first drive catch at plus money, like plus 120. And then I'll probably bet Worthy like first quarter receiving, whatever that is as well. But it's so hard in this game because both teams are going to be so slow no matter who gets the ball. So on a quarter by quarter basis, I agree. There's going to be at least one like 10-minute drive in this no matter what. So yeah, it's one of those things where definitely agree with you on that. And I will say a little hack for the first quarter too, especially if you play on offshores or you play on like PPH or any, sketchier online books as well. after the coin toss, you'll get an opportunity to see who has 2 possessions, right? Or a chance at 2 possessions in the first quarter. A lot of books will be slow to remove their first quarter stuff in the Super Bowl. It's coin toss, everything's going crazy. While everyone else is timing the coin toss and yelling and wasting their time, you should be there with your sports books open trying to hit some first quarter props, because whatever team's going to receive is going to have a much better chance at 2 possessions. It's going to open you up to a lot of EV right there. And normally they're good at removing it, but it happened last year. FanDuel even was slow. A lot of books are kind of slower because it's the fucking Super Bowl. These guys, the traders, have been up for 84 hours on 40 Red Bull straight. So just a little hack right there if you're a little bit of a bettor and you're ready to try to get some money down. Like, you have your phone ready to go, have your computer ready to go day of. You can make some money that way for sure.
Love it. Yeah, as always, guys, we appreciate you guys joining us yet again. Our last NFL show of the year. Again, it's bittersweet, obviously, when we're still winning in other sports and closing out the year here. Obviously, wanted to thank you guys. What is it, 3rd year full on NFL? We have our straight bets on the last show. Make sure you guys pop over there. Hopefully, we can start adding on to this. I'd love to see it over 20. That would be absolutely phenomenal. As we head into the basketball season, we got March Madness next month already. It's gonna be interesting. So, just want to say thanks. Appreciate you guys as always. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments after the show. And we'll be dropping stuff. I have a feeling we're gonna have quite a few extra bets in the comment section here. So make sure you got the notification bell on. Comment below your bets too. We love to hear them. And obviously we're gonna be throwing quite a few in ourselves. So anything extra we'll definitely take. So thank you guys. Best of luck, and we'll see you guys on Monday for some basketball. So have a good one, guys, and happy Super Bowl Sunday.